Happy Independence Day or July 4th weekend to my American listeners. I hope you have a fantastic barbecue weekend with family and friends. So I have been tracking global food prices and shrinkflation going up for a long time. The last 12, 13, 14 months have been crazy though compared to the past. It's just getting very, very difficult for the people in power to hide how much shrinkflation and how quickly food prices are rising. So for this video, some of the articles I put together initially were from the end of April and early May, and food prices had already gone up for 11 straight months. Insane. But over the last couple months, we've seen even more evidence that food prices, global food prices, continue to rise. A couple days ago, we had the White House tweet out, and I put screenshots there, economic propaganda, claiming that the food for your holiday barbecue has not gone up in price over the last 12 months, claiming that ground beef, as you can see on your screen, is down 8% versus a year ago, claiming that other items have not gone up at all either. But then we have conflicting evidence. We have a tweet out today from one of the head reporters and market research at Bloomberg, Lisa Abramowitz, saying that global food prices rose 4.8% in May from the previous month, the biggest monthly increase since 2010, according to UN data. And we have other food price indexes that are also very close to 2011 Arab Spring levels. And this is the result of problems with food supply chain problems, supply chain bottlenecks, but also trillions in currency units from central banks and governments all over the globe. It's not just the US, chasing different soft commodities and food commodities. Hog futures for months were going straight up. And we have similar price increases in a lot of beef items as well. In fact, one Mexican restaurant I frequent here in my area, pork prices went up so much that they took my favorite dish, carnitas, off the menu. It may be permanent. Rest in peace, my favorite carnitas. So we are getting dangerously close to those 2011 Arab Spring levels. It was bad a couple months ago. Food prices just keep rising. That's what the data is saying. Now, if China does stop buying some of these food commodities, we may get somewhat of a break. Hopefully more food supply will come online, although the food supply chain tends to be very, very slow at adapting to things like this. Finally, if you like content like this and want to help keep content like this free so it doesn't all end up behind a paywall, or if you want more in-depth research content, financial education, and analysis, there is over 170 articles, charts, and audio podcasts behind the paywall for my patrons, including 14 new articles out in the last 6 or so weeks on a lot of different topics about global macro companies and sectors, all for only $5 a month, the cost of a bad cup of coffee. If you don't like it, you can always cancel, but I think you're really going to like it. And I think the articles that you can get behind the paywall are way better than what normally $5 a month gets you. But if I could wrap things up, you're seeing more and more and more economic propaganda out trying to hide the inflation. But there's surveys coming out from corporate America, from chief financial officers, saying that they do not trust the Federal Reserve Bank anymore to control inflation. So that means that corporate America now, a lot of companies in industries like food, agriculture, mining and metals, transportation, these CEOs are talking about inflation a lot over the last couple months, especially on Q1 conference calls. I'm sure we'll hear it on Q2 conference calls too. And they're saying in the surveys that they no longer trust the Federal Reserve Bank and other central bankers to control inflation.